Hey everybody, it's Robert Dinan, and today we're going to do another one of our question and answer series here at the Dining Group Better Homes and Gardens, your Florida realtor. I'm going to talk today about buyers and when purchasing in Florida, what are some of the buyers' major concerns here. We're going to use some case studies, and we're going to answer the questions that some people have, will ask today in regards to purchasing in Florida. So let's get started. Let me see what kind of questions they have available for us here to start, and let's answer some of these questions and what to be concerned about when buying in Florida. Again, I'm Robert Dinan, your Florida realtor. If you haven't seen me before, please like, share, subscribe, follow. Don't hesitate to ask me a question in regards to real estate, and I'm happy to help. So let's get started here. Some of the top questions when purchasing on the west coast of Florida. I have Dan from the Sarasota area, and he asked a question: what are the flood zone regulations in the area? This is a typical question we get, right? Especially being coastal and having coastal properties here in the state of Florida. Obviously, we're a large peninsula and there's water on both sides, and it's something to be concerned about, but there's trade-offs. So if you are concerned about those regulations, obviously look into that particular area, but you have the concerns of certain flood risks, but especially in the low-lying areas. And you have to really know what the flood insurance and what that entails and how much that's going to cost you a year when you're purchasing a property. So with that in mind, I'll move on to the next question here so we can keep this moving. How does the Florida real estate market perform compared to other areas of Florida? That's a good question, and that's from Angela from New York. Well, Angela, let me answer that question for you. So you have to track trends, you have to live in the facts, and you have to understand that homes sell for certain numbers, and when looking at certain areas, you're going to command more money than others. Looking at the trends, finding property values, knowing what the values are, knowing what the future market looks like are great predictors that you can look at as a buyer when looking to make a smart investment into the Florida marketplace. So I hope I answered that question for you. So let's keep moving. Question number 3 here that's coming in, someone from Milwaukee. This is actually a good question. What are the best neighborhoods for school safety and community amenities? Wow. So that's a loaded question. There are some wonderful schools here in Florida, especially on the West Coast, from public to private. And if you're zeroing down on a particular area, I'd be more than happy to go into what those schools' demographics are as far as ratings and what they look like compared to other parts of Florida. And when you're moving to an area, you have to ensure that moving to the area has great schools if that's a priority for you. So working with a professional realtor to determine where those areas are, if you're not familiar with Florida, is something you need to do. So please work with a professional realtor and find out what amenities and quality of life you're looking for and build it around what you're looking for in that dynamic of schooling for your children. Okay, next question here. Let me see what we got. All right, we kind of answered that one already here, but another one just came in. Here we go. This is from Nate from Washington State. What should I know about hurricane preparedness for homes in the region? That's a good question, Nate. This is always a question that most people feel and are concerned about in Florida. Does Florida have hurricanes? Yes, it does. Being prepared for those hurricanes is important. Yes. Now, with a lot of the new standards that have taken place in building and new construction, a lot of these issues have been addressed. Hurricane proofing your home, if it's not a new construction or a new build from the Miami-Dade standard moving forward, I recommend obviously having the right coverage on your home in case a catastrophic event does happen, like things that have happened in the past, especially with Ian down south in South Florida. I highly recommend you looking into whatever region you're looking at and know that hurricanes do happen, but that shouldn't hinder what you're looking for in the state of Florida, because there's definitely places that you can feel more comfortable with than others. So reach out to me. I can talk to you more about that, Nate. Okay, here's another question that just popped in here. How close is the property to the beach, and what restrictions or benefits come with owning coastal property? How close is a property to the beach? Well, the proximity to the beach often is a top selling point, okay? And there are plenty of homes that own right up to the sand on the beach, and buyers are curious about zoning laws, and they're curious about building restrictions and obviously the conservation regulations that come into play. But there are plenty of homes here in Florida, obviously, that are on the beach or close to the beach, and that is a very large selling point. And without getting into the construction side of things, if you'd like, please look at our podcast that we did with Clay Henson of Henson Contractors, and we talked about coastal lines and building on the coast and building within the new rules and regulations that are important and accepted as well as required in the state of Florida too. And I'll include that link below as well. Here, another couple of questions popping in here. I don't know if you guys hear that coming in, but people talk about property taxes, and here's a good question. There's a couple of questions about property tax, but here's a good one. What are the property tax rates, and are there any tax benefits for homeowners in the area? So buyers want to understand, first off, your long-term financial obligations when purchasing a property, and if there's local incentives in those particular areas when purchasing the property, that can always come into play as far as tax benefits. And obviously in the state of Florida, we have the homesteads too. So that is also another tax benefit for you. And veterans as well, without drilling down into all these tax benefits here, because this could be a whole podcast itself. There's a lot of benefits, and just talk to a local realtor who knows and understands those. And that's something that will really help you understand that current marketplace and what's available in that current marketplace as far as tax benefits. Great question. Let me see here. A couple of these I'm going to pass over. This is a good question. It's broad, but I'm going to answer it here for Margaret from North Carolina. She said, what kind of lifestyle can I expect in the West Coast or on the West Coast of Florida? So buyers always want to know what the lifestyle is going to be in Florida, and from beach bum to country club, there's many desired different lifestyles here in the state of Florida. So whether you're looking for that suburban kind of living or the active retirement living, or even that vibrant city environment, there's plenty to choose from in Florida, and especially on the West Coast of Florida. So lifestyle you can expect is what you're looking for. I mean, you could find whatever you're looking for here in Florida. That's why people are coming to sunny Florida. So I hope that answers that question for you. Moving right along here so we don't take too much more of everybody's time. How does the cost of living on the West Coast of Florida compare to other parts of Florida? This is a great question. This is piggybacking on that tax question. Buyers often compare the cost of utilities, groceries, and general living expenses when they're evaluating moving to a particular area, right? And moving to a particular area, these are some concerns for people. So I think the West Coast of Florida is very unique. So you could be 40 miles in one direction and things seem a little bit cheaper than they do in another area of Florida. Just depending on where you are, I think localized and being locally thinking and in your decisions here in Florida can really help you determine what your costs are going to be and associated with you and your cost of living in the Sunshine State. Another question that we get here all the time, because now Florida is not just a retirement town like it was in the past, right? We've seen more and more people here moving down here that are younger and looking for jobs in the job market. And this is a question from Jason from Maryland. Okay. Jason from Maryland asks, what are the local job market opportunities, especially if I'm relocating to Florida? So relocation buyers are always concerned about the areas and where they're moving and what is available from the job market. I will tell you, the job market is very vibrant here in Florida. We do have a lot of different companies moving here for tax benefit reasons, as well as doing business in the state of Florida. Is very simple for businesses and big businesses. So they're moving here, and there's a ton of opportunity and major business hubs here in the state of Florida. So if you're looking for a position from the casual dining worker to the upper level or higher level executive, those opportunities are here in the state of Florida. So come on down. What should I look for in the terms of maintenance if I'm living near the water or the coastline? So this is a question from Michelle from New Jersey. So obviously this is another question that we addressed earlier, and the questions keep popping in here, so excuse my dinging in the background. But what should you consider maintenance on in the property, or maintenance on on the coast or by the water, right? So anytime you're having a home and or property near the coastline, you're always concerned about salt air, you're concerned about humidity, you're concerned about coastal conditions that may affect the upkeep, roofing. The overall property maintenance is something that, that the saltwater air does affect, and it shortens the lifetime of a lot of different products. So if you're looking to live on the water, again, like I said, there's trade-offs to living on the water or living close to the water or living near the water. And let me tell you, most parts of Florida here, you're pretty close to a body of water, either it be a lake or the Gulf of Mexico and or the Atlantic Ocean on the other side. So I hope these questions highlighted some of the important things that people were looking for. And again, if you liked our questions and want to join us next time, please like, subscribe, follow me, ask me any questions you may have. And again, I'm Robert Dinan, your Florida Realtor. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon here in sunny Florida.